Good day, Ensemble Travel Group members. My name is Lindsay Perlman. Joining me is Libby Rice. We're our co-presidents of this organization and thrilled to be here. 18 months ago, Libby, we entered into a project with Change Labs. During that period of time, we interviewed 24 agencies, we interviewed 7 of our preferred partners, and we did 400 surveys. So out of that, we had data output that created a business plan that is effective and can be implemented to your business.
So those key findings were shared at both the U.S. and Canadian executive retreats this year. But for those of you who couldn't attend executive retreat this year, we've created 12 learning videos. Each of these videos is accompanied by a learning guide, which can be downloaded from the extranet. We hope you enjoy the videos and get a lot out of them.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Peter Goss, and I'm the Director of Research and Insight for Change Labs. My team and I have partnered with Ensemble over the past 12 months to truly dig deep into what is differentiating top agencies within the Ensemble network and the industry, and learning from that and helping to articulate that and help communicate that out to member agencies. Now, one of the things that I'd like to do in this video is to help you understand and to prepare you for the upcoming video series. The first thing that I do want to communicate to you and to really talk through with you is what are the goals of this video series and what have the goals been for the research, because that's how I like to start these videos and that's how I like to really begin and to drive into content. So the first major goal that we had was to understand the changing industry landscape. How is the change that's happening within the environment impacting the way that you make decisions within your business? The next thing that we're looking at is what are those strategic necessities and what are those differentiators that can help you be successful regardless of the changing landscape? What do you need to do and how do you need to evolve your strategic value proposition to be ready for the future? The third piece is I want you to have both strategic and tactical ideas to really drive and to improve your business. This all can't be theoretical. I'm not here to drive a discussion. I want you to have action. I want you to be able to drive and realize results in a short-term period of time. And last, I want you to have confidence in your ability to be successful regardless of industry changes and regardless of the challenges that you face. The purpose of this is to prepare you for that and to give you that confidence and to have you feel like you are on top of the world and that you can take anything on. Now, when we move forward and we say, how are we going to do this, or how have we structured the research? There's really 6 parts. The first part is all about these influencers. What are those things that come in and drive the way that you make decisions? Then we're going to go specific into what is the strategic value proposition of your business and how does that need to change, or does it need to change? We'll then take some time and we'll go into marketing and sales principles. Marketing, which is how are we driving new leads and how are top agencies driving new high quality leads within their business, and then how are they able to then sell to that customer, and how are they able to then bring those customers in, and not just for a single transaction, but how are they doing that for the lifetime of the customer. We'll talk about how that's all about making a promise. How do you actually deliver on that sort of promise? What are agencies doing? What are other groups in other industries doing in order to be successful? And then we'll close with, that's all great, but how do you build a culture that wraps around that and takes that to the next level and perpetuates that beyond just you or beyond just your executive team? Now, I'd like to talk briefly about the research that we've done in order to give you some context. So first, we did an extensive amount of research with Ensemble and with the Ensemble stakeholders. First, we did dozens of interviews with agency owners and managers across both the US and Canada. Now, we also wanted to make this holistic, so we also brought in and did interviews with suppliers. We focused on tour, we went to airfare, we did cruise operators. We really were exhaustive in the suppliers that we brought in to talk to. We also then went to the Ensemble management team and we wanted to understand their take on how things looked and how things were running. Now, with that, we also didn't want it to just be within the Ensemble ecosystem. We also went out and we looked at third parties and we spoke with third parties in the industry to get their perspective on what are the challenges, what is the history and background, and how do they think Ensemble needs to evolve, and how do the agencies within it need to evolve. We also did a survey, so if you did the survey, I want to say thank you. We conducted a survey to complement the qualitative information that we gained from the interviews. We also wanted to have some quantitative data to back that up. So we'll be talking about some of the results from that and how that's driven the way that we concluded some of our findings. Now, we also did secondary research, which I just consider to be the due diligence, which is really around what does the competitive landscape look like? What does the ensemble landscape look like? The industry landscape, the sales landscape within the industry. So we really got a holistic picture of the ensemble network. Now, as you may have heard me speak at the international conference, I went into briefly the much broader piece of research that I lead on behalf of Change Labs. So we started with a task of identifying how are companies differentiating themselves based on what they know, rather than getting sucked into just differentiating based on features, services, benefits, or price. Now, as we conducted this research, we really split it apart into two major buckets. The first bucket was a business review. That review was all about going down and sitting with companies that we felt like did a great job of differentiating based on their insight and their expertise. Now, as you can see from the slide here, Ensemble is in great company. And you can see that I've personally spent most of my time there conducting hundreds of interviews with hundreds of executives from all of these businesses, understanding how they're being successful in doing just that, differentiating based on their insight. Now, the second bucket was all around secondary research, and our team will call that the literature review. And it's an exhaustive search of everything ever said or written about thought leadership, knowledge, insight, expertise, competitive differentiation, competitive advantage. It spanned lots of different items. It could be books, magazines, industry articles, blogs, scholarly lit, which could have been psych, neuroscience, anthropology, biology. As you'd expect, that was a pretty exhaustive and extensive review, and I had two people on my team just dedicated to that part of the research. So I hope that gives you a good idea of the amount of time and effort and the breadth of what we've done in order to make this possible. Now, as we move forward and we go into the rest of the videos, I want you to know that you can download and you can look at a workbook that we produced, which was really trying to take everything that's in our head and everything that we've learned and package that into something that you can use, not just today and tomorrow, but hopefully for the years to come, to help continually innovate and to help continually drive a culture wrapped around expertise that proves value to customers. Now, I want to quickly talk with you about how you can follow along within the workbook and with the slides. So what you'll see in all of these slides is in the top right-hand corner, you'll see that framework or that model that I explained a little bit earlier. You'll always see highlighted there the topics that I'm discussing. Now you also see a page number there. That page number corresponds directly to your workbook. So I want you to always feel like as I'm speaking or as we go through this content that you can always know exactly where we are and follow along with the program. So with that said, you are now ready to listen to the rest of the videos. We're estimating that the number of videos is going to be about 12, and that's going to cover all of those 6 different topic areas. And also, when you look at this, what is the main benefit of listening to this through a video series? That you can pause me and you can make me stop talking, and you can use that time, you can spend that time to really go through the questions and to ask yourself the tough ones and then come back and continue forward with the series. So I encourage you to follow along and to work along as you go through this. I hope you enjoy the content. I know that the team and I have had a blast putting it together, and I had a great time with the Ensemble team and with the agencies at the executive retreats, and I hope that you have the same experience. Thank you.